Kern County, Bakersfield, Taft, Ridgecrest, you know, from the Naval Air Warfare Center to the oil that produces the fuel that you drive or use in your cars. As Tim said, I don't need to be here. I served in the military overseas at Headquarters Company 5th Corps in Germany. I was in Germany when the wall came down. I served the United States military I was in 87, 88, or 88, 89, and 90. And in 89, the wall came down between East and West Berlin. So I think about all the things that God gave me in life to, you know, prepare me for this time. I came home from the military, and God blessed me with my own business. So I have a business that has 4 offices in the state of California, from Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, Paso Robles, and Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, Paso Robles, and Visalia. And then I recently opened 2 offices in Colorado and 1 in Pinedale, Wyoming. So I have a viable small business that's growing, and I turned the day-to-day operations over to somebody about 5 years ago, not anticipating any political adventure. But, you know, I had gone to this chamber function, and they said, are you a small business or are you sole proprietorship? And I'm like, I'm a small business. And they said, can you be gone? There was a series of questions afterwards. You know, can you be gone for 6 months and your business will be here? And I'm like, no. Does somebody try your checking account? I'm like, no. Well, by the time I got to the end of the 10 questions, I was a sole proprietorship and not a small business. So I immediately changed the direction of my company, hired somebody that had the same godly character, ethics, morals, and values, and then slowly trained him and turned over the day-to-day operations. The good thing about the person that I hired is he is a college-educated person, and I am not, so he's able to take my company further than I ever thought about taking it. Then this came up, running for the state assembly. Gene Fuller, who usually was the assembly representative in our district, decided to run for the Senate, so you know, the most I ever really did was vote. I really wasn't involved in politics. I'm a business owner. I was busy running my business. So I kind of Googled who was going to take her place, and I thought, oh dear God. So I made some phone calls and I said, you know, we're in big trouble if you guys don't have another candidate. And they said, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm eating dinner in Mexicali. No, really, what are you doing? And I said, I'm eating dinner in Mexicali. Because, boy, it went way over my head. And then I said, oh, no. I said, you know, I'm a business owner. You know, I believe in the Second Amendment. You know, all these things that I think of that are important to me. So anyways, I prayed about it. My husband and I both prayed about it. Still didn't get confirmation, so we did a 21-day Daniel's fast together. We circled the friends of prayer warriors, and then it was evident that I was supposed to run, so I did. And I won by 68%. Brings me here to the state assembly. Quick little thing about past. You know, I was raised by a single mom. There's, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, I'm underserved or I deserve welfare with this. I'm like, wow, you know, my mom and all of us kids worked in the fields to make things. We used to run up and down the conveyor belts, and my mom would pop us in the head with a potato or a bell pepper or something if we got too far away. So, you know, that's before OSHA and all that stuff. But, you know, so there's no excuse. And people go, well, you know, my dad left me too, you know. Well, you know, I don't know, you know, my family was on drugs. I know, me too. You know, there's no story that you can tell me that I haven't personally experienced or grew up around that makes you someone who can receive a government check. It's to be a short-term assistance, but not anything wrong. So that's my take on welfare. I get to the state assembly and I find Tim Donnelly, because I really thought I was going up there by myself too. And what an ally. You know, I thought, wow, somebody who thinks like me, we're going to get in trouble together. I will never go to the doghouse by myself. You know, we'll both be on the lawn, camping in a tent. My husband gave me a bedroll. You know, so it was kind of neat to meet him. And then I meet Brian, and he's the godly, the pastor, the one that kind of goes, okay, you guys are going just a little bit overboard, but we can do it this way and accomplish the same thing and really step on their toes. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Brian brings some rationale to mine and Tim's mayhem. I should say mayhem is good. So, you know, it's an interesting thing. I thought as a business owner I could go up here, because a lot of these people are either union organizers, you know, staffers, college kids that just get out of school that work for an assembly member, know the district run, and then they become all of a sudden a member. And I thought, wow, you know, these people just don't understand that when they pass these laws, how it affects us in the real world. So, you know, I've got time. I'll go up for a couple of years. I'll share my experience and go, look, when you pass a law like this is how it affects business. Or, you know, if you pass an open carry ban, this is how it affects hunters. And I thought I could share that with them and they would go, oh my God, I didn't know, you know, that happened. Well, I get up here and I realize that they know and they just don't care. Because I'm going to tell you, if it ain't about a gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual questioning agenda, or union agenda, or an environmental or creature worshiper agenda, then everything else is under the road, and you're paying for it. It doesn't matter. The things that come through that building blow our minds sometimes. We leave that floor and we are just so upset and devastated. They trample on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, our voting rights. They trample on our eminent domain and property rights, and they don't care. And I'll give you an idea of how it goes on the floor, okay? So you have a bill to take someone's property around, what is the guy's name? Ellensworth Monument, okay? So there's this dairy that's been there for, you know, and immigrated here from the Azores, a Portuguese family. They have this dairy, and they're like, well, we want to take 2.5 miles of land around this state national monument or whatever it is. And it's like, no, that's their land. I stood up, Tim stood up. It's their land. What if it was your land that your grandfather fought for and has this? It's their land. You can't take their land. Anyway, so we stand up and fight. So the votes kind of go like this. All those who desire to vote, please vote. 52 yeses, 27 noes. Measure passes. It's kind of what it's like on the floor. Okay? Your 12-year-old can now be treated for sexually transmitted diseases without your knowledge. All those who desire to vote, please vote. 52 yeses, 27 noes. Measure passes. In case you guys need to know, you can change your birth certificate to say you were either born male or born female if you decide to have a sex change operation. All those who desire to vote, please vote. 52 yeses, 27 noes. Okay? That's what they're doing to our state. Just on the ethical and moral side of it. You want to talk about spending money? We now are funding something that puts little tiny, I don't know, what is that, physiomagnetic? I don't even remember the word of it. Some little something that goes in the road, because you know when you drive down the road, we create a vibration, and that vibration is escaping, and no one is getting the energy, and so therefore that will take us off of oil, you know? Millions of dollars. Okay? I mean, I brought a list. Just to go over a little bit of it. AB 22, you can't pull credit reports anymore if you're an employer. SB 432, oh, we're going to regulate fitted sheets for motels. I mean, it's not like we got important things to do like balance a budget. We're going to tell motels and hotels that they have to use fitted sheets, not flat sheets. So we're going to regulate fitted sheets. I have a sign, and when I roll it out in front of people, I go like this, and it probably rolls down to that second chair. And it's all the state boards and commissions. And it's got like the California Task Force for the Culturally and Linguistically Challenged Dentists, because you know we need that, right? It's got everything on here. So now we have another task force. It's the Blue Ribbon Task Force, and it's to establish a task force appointed by the governor and the speaker, and they're going to gather together all the information on how to create a state bank that is modeled after the communist state or socialist state bank in North Dakota. Now, the reason they're doing this is the kicker, okay? They're going to establish a state bank so that we can loan ourselves money when we're in a deficit crisis. Now, of course, I'm in the committee with Mike Morrell, and I'm like, oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. And it's a job creator bill, just in case you didn't know that too. And I said, this doesn't make any sense. You know, this is nuts. And so I speak my piece, and the chair cuts me off, and he speaks, and I thought, thank God, you know, maybe he's a moderate Dem. He's gonna, you know, he's pretty moderate, what they call a moderate Dem. And he goes, Mr. Wayso, you thinking outside the box to create jobs in California. And I just want to fall out of my chair, you know. And then, you know, all those who desire to vote, please vote. 52 yeses, 27 noes, measure passes. That's how it works.